Say hey, Yellow Jacket football fans. Welcome to In the Pressbox, being brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club and Coach Clay. We've got a pretty big game coming up.
It is. It's a very big game. I've been looking forward to it for a couple weeks. Having the week off last week is good, but it also makes the wait even longer to get to a big game. So we're almost there.
Almost there. Finished up the non-region part of the schedule, 4-1 on the season, which is a really good record. Took care of our inter-county rival, and it was nice to see the pound and shoot offense put up 52 points. The Hall's Hogs continue to get better.
Yeah, I felt like they all every phase of the offense played one of the best games that they've had. The offensive line was blocking really well for the run game, as well as their pass protection is getting better week by week. Trey made some good throws, some good reads. The receivers were running great routes and catching the ball, and Caden did a really good job, in the second level and third level, making people miss. So it was for offensively speaking, it was a really good game.
541 yards of offense.
Wow, that's a lot. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, 259 rushing and 282 passing. Trey was 15 for 19, and if you're sitting in the stand, you're impressed with his passing. I think you coaches are just as impressed, if not more impressed, with his ability to handle the game, make adjustments, get the the guys lined up in the right formations. He's just in the zone right now.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He a lot of it goes into his preparations, film work with Coach Holly, because he understands the whole offense, which is great to have. You can get input from him, and he understands all parts of the offense. So he's doing a great job for us.
Caden had another good game, 11 carries for 147 yards. That's pretty nice average per carry.
It is. I feel like it's been so long. I can't remember much of the game. Those stats I feel like it's Groundhog Day. I can't remember those, but I know he had a great game. Some really good runs. I think he had a 60 or 70 yard run that he busted off. That helps the average for sure.
Yeah, Trey threw 3 touchdown passes. We got Brooks Brandon into the end zone with a touchdown. Imari had another good game of catching passes with 4. Caden caught 5 passes. Imari caught 4 for 94 yards, and Imari had another touchdown reception. Yes, and speaking of long runs, the sophomore, Mr. White, had a pretty long run.
Hunter had really
81 yards at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was our. We had some subs in there, and you'd like to get them a few plays, but fortunately for Hunter, he busted a 60 or 70 yard run, and that was the only plays that those backups got in. But he's doing a good job to kind of fill it in for Caden when he needs it.
Yeah, you watch Caden run, and he is so strong when he gets to the B level, that linebacker level, and I pity those poor linebackers. The most exciting part of the run for me for Hunter was at the end when he gave the kid a stiff arm, and the kid kind of realized, I really don't want to be in here.
No, he didn't. That was a good. He couldn't quite beat him with speed, but he stiff armed him and knocked him down and got in the end zone anyway.
Black shirt defense did a good job, pitched a shutout in the second half.
Yeah, it played well. First half it was they were a little bit frustrated, the coaches were, because there was just a couple of small things that we weren't doing well, but the intensity was there, and they were flying around, and they've had a good week of practice, good couple weeks of practice after that. So looking forward to them getting to take the field again on Friday.
That was a tough offense, and when you play a tough offense, and when you have a multi-dimensional quarterback like Jackson Pate from Sonoraville, it takes a while to get acclimated to what his tendencies might be as well when you're playing on the defensive side. I thought the guys, whatever was said at halftime, and the guys getting used to handling that offense, I thought they did a really, really good job. It's a big night overall because obviously it's the first game of the region. Cartersville comes in 5-0. We come in at 4-1. We're both ranked in the top 5 or 6 in the state. Our scoring averages are almost identical. They give up a few less points per game than what we do, but both defenses and offenses are ranked in the top 10 in the state in 5A. We want to start the night off. It's military night.
Yeah, it is. It is. Looking forward to having those guys out there. Excuse me. We worked with the local National Guard, and we've got some active guys and some veterans that will be out there before the game that we'll get to honor. And so it's always a good night to get to do that. The kids are excited, and the folks that we're honoring, the people we've been talking to are very excited to get a chance to do it. So that always adds to the excitement of the game. Not that this needs any more excitement, but once that gets settled and the game gets going, it should be a really good football game. The last 3 years that we played them, I've tried to stress to the kids all week of going back to our last home game against them. Just come down to 2 or 3 plays here or there, and you don't know when those 3 plays are coming. They could come in the second quarter, come in the fourth quarter. So we got to treat every play like it could affect the outcome of the game, and take that mentality and just play hard. It's our best team that we've played, I think by far, and so they're going to make some good plays. We're going to make some good plays. We're going to make some bad ones. They're going to make some bad ones. So it's just a matter of handling those ebbs and flows. And we've been in games this year where we have them behind. We've been behind at halftime. We've been up at halftime. So we've been through a lot of stuff this year already. Hopefully that we can use that experience and play a good game Friday night.
Yes, and the thing that I like going into this game is we were in that triple overtime victory at Cartersville over Cartersville last year. It was a Thursday night game instead of a Friday night game because of Hurricane Ian coming through. So everything was kind of pushed up a little bit and quickly, so that's a tough one on the coaching staff. But I like the fact that we have so many players that are key contributors to this year's team that had monumental roles in that triple overtime game. And, we jumped out to a big lead, and then they come back, and then we trailed in the overtimes until that third overtime when we were able to get the 2-point conversion. I think Caden Williams got that 2-point conversion. And then we stopped that quarterback option play on after they scored their touchdown to get that 50-48 victory. I like the experience. And I think that's what we're seeing. I'm going to mention Trey again, but there's many, many others on this team, seniors and juniors that played in that game last year, that the experience, you've been through that, and now when it gets to be a crunch situation, like you were just mentioning, being behind at halftime in a couple games this year, I think it's showing up well for the guys.
Yeah, it has so far. Hopefully we can, use last year's and this year's good things and bad things, and you got to learn from them. That's what we try to tell them all the time, that it doesn't matter what was yesterday or what was last year.
Right.
We got to make sure we're focusing on getting better day by day and turning out and showing up on Friday night and playing better than we did the week before. This year's Cardinal team's a little bit different. I mean, it's the same in some ways. I feel like they're doing a little bit more, excuse me, a little bit more offensively than they have in the past, a little bit different formations. But at the end of the day, they're going to be able to run the football because they got to get off of the line, and they want to throw a lot of screens because they've got some really good receivers. So hands full with their offense for sure, because they've got playmakers all over the field. That running back, they're running a few this year, but their main one, Orlando, I think's his name. He's doing a really good job of. He just breaks tackles. He's a tough runner, hard runner. He's hard to tackle out in open space, and they got 2 receivers with track speed that can take it to the house at any given time. So offensively they are similar. I think they're doing a little bit more. Defensively they're about the same. They do a tremendous job on defense, doing a bunch of stuff, throwing a bunch of different looks at you, and they've done that for years. So it's one of those deals that you can't really guess. You just got to go out and play and trust the players are going to go play.
I've watched some film clips. Their offensive line, particularly when the camera is behind the team, it is wide and agile.
Yes, they're good.
Wide bodies.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're good up front. That's what causes them to be a good team every year. They're so good on both sides of the ball up front, but especially offense for this year. They're just big and strong, and they can control the line of scrimmage most games. So that'll be a big test for us. Obviously our defensive line has been a strength, so it should be a good matchup. If that's something that if you want to watch a battle every play, watch the guys up front the whole game. And so it's going to be because I'm sure they're going to win some battles, but we're going to win some as well. So that should be a good matchup and a key to the game. If we can just kind of get a stalemate there, it would be a win for us.
Yes, they have 3 running backs that have over 200 yards, but the Lando boy has 7 TDs. So I think he's their key guy. They have, as you said, some speed, a lot of speed at wide receiver, and one of them is a kick returner, and I've seen him return one, and he just was down the field pretty quick. Defensively, they're going to line up in a three-man front, or?
Yeah, they're a three-man front, and their front five pretty much plays. They do a bunch of stuff with their with their back end of their defense, with their safeties, and but their front is definitely good. Their linebackers are tough, hard-nosed, Carswell type linebackers. I feel like they have the same type of kids every year we played them for however long I can remember. But they do a good job. They're very well coached. They're in the right position all the time, so you can't. Aren't too many formations that are going to outflank them or whatever. They do a good job of playing, assignment football and then flying to the ball, and they're very tough and hard nosed. They're really good tacklers. They're a good team, good defensive team, a really good defensive team.
Yeah, but I look at Calhoun Yellow Jackets, and we've been playing at a high level for many years. The entire time that you've been here, we're going to make plays. I went back and looked at some highlights from last year's game, and we were able to get behind him at times. We were able to get separation downfield when passing. We were able to run the ball, and we're a year older, a year more seasoned. And I'm thinking this is just going to be one slobber knocker affair.
Last year was a tale of two field position halves.
Yes,
remember that first half we had really, really good field position. And when you do that, you can open up your whole offense and do kind of what you want to when you're on the plus side of the field. I think we had 2, maybe 3 drives that we started on the plus side, which is huge when you're trying to call a game. In the second half, we had a couple of penalties, had a turnover, and we were backed up inside the 20 multiple times.
Yes.
So that's you look at, you didn't score as many. Well, why didn't you score as many? Then it obviously comes down, you got to go execute whatever you're trying to do. But the field position game was a big part of last year, and that's kind of how they got back in the game.
Yes,
they had the field position that we had in the first half. We gave it to them in the second half. So, and that all kind of most of the time comes back to special teams. So that's where we've talked about offense and defense. But special teams is another huge part that controls controls field position. They got a really good kicker. I mean, he's kicking it out of the end zone when he wants to. Yes. So, and he's a really good punter. So I feel like special teams, whoever can, not make a mistake and maybe make a big play here or there to flip field position will probably have an edge in the game for sure.
Tell the fans a little bit about how you practiced, what you practiced during the past 2 weeks with the bye week.
Yeah, so last week we went, gave them off Monday, went Tuesday through Friday. And it was good because they were off as well. And so it kind of gives you a leg up on game planning, that we didn't have to spend quite as much time on Sunday this week as coaches and players. Both teams had a week. That was why last year we were able to play on Thursday with no problem, because we'd already had a week of practice before that. So, and this week was just normal game week. So it didn't change anything this week. And that's what I told them, a key for big games is it's just another game. You don't have to do anything different preparation wise than because all 5 games so far we've had have been playoff type game plans.
Yes, they have.
Just to go and try to win the football game. So I told them we have had to prepare just like we're preparing this week for every game that we played. So it's no different in preparation. Obviously the focus has got to be there because it is a home game and it's a big region game. But at the end of the day, we've been here before, and that's kind of been the message this week of we just got to treat it day by day, just like we have any other game week, and go out Friday and make plays.
Yeah, you're not going to win the region. And all the teams in our region are open to play against each other, and that's what it's going to be for the next 5 weeks. But you're not going to win the region this week. It's a game, and you just got to come in with the right mindset and enjoy the atmosphere. And like you said, be focused there. So we were a little, like everybody else, a little bit banged up going into the bye week. So the time has been important to get guys rehabbed and some fresh legs maybe.
Yeah, no, we did. I feel like we had several starters were out last game that maybe not they're 100%, but they're all they're all give it a go on Friday night and play. So.
But isn't everybody at this point right now?
Yes, I'm sure it is. It's playing in 4-quarter football games for 5 weeks in a row wears on you. That was the good thing about years in the past when you've been able to play a half. You don't get that experience of being up or down, but you do get some more guys in there, and that was what good thing about the Sonoral game. We were able to get a lot of young guys and a lot of 2s and 3s in the game there late. That it just helps out the whole program. Whenever you can get kids in a Friday night game, it helps the morale and helps the fans. The parents want to see their kids play. It's just we haven't had the luxury of doing that much, but we were able to then, which was a good thing.
I don't think you're going to have much of that luxury with this region for the rest of the season. But
right.
It was really fun for me to be going up and down the roster and picking out young names. And I'm talking about freshmen and sophomores that got to play significant playing time in that last game in that 4th quarter. So that was a lot of fun. Congratulations to some of the guys 3 guys on the pound and shoot offense. Caden Williams has 505 yards rushing on the season, so he's ranked in the top rushers in the entire state, all classifications, and this is for everybody. Trace Townsend's thrown for 1,024 yards, 11 touchdowns, and Imari has 459 yards receiving, and I think he has 5 or 7 TDs. I'll have to check my stats later. I'll have it for you on Friday night before the game, folks, on our pregame show. But yeah, congratulations to those 3 because the pound and shoot offense is doing a good job, and that is all testament to Hall's Hogs getting better week by week.
Oh yeah, offense is playing well, taking advantage of opportunities when they get a chance.
Yeah, they're doing a really, really good job. So I'm going to let you get back to your duties because we got a big game coming up tomorrow night. It is military night, and folks, I know we're going to have a big crowd out there to watch the game. So tune in and listen to Coach Clay's show here, being brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club, and we'll get after it. We're going to have it's just going to be full on both sides. Get there early, grab your seat, and enjoy the game. Right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. It should be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to seeing how our fans turn out. I know they'll have a good crowd.
Oh, we'll have a big one.
Getting honored the military before the game. We give out a couple of state championship rings before the game. Max and Ella both get the rings, so a lot going on. And then at 7:30, it should be showtime.
It'll be kickoff time. It's going to be a beautiful night at Phil Reeves Stadium. The weather is going to be wonderful, and you got 2 top 10 teams going head to head in the first region game of the season. Good luck and good health to the Yellow Jackets, Coach.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you all for listening to In the Press Box with Coach Clay Stevenson, brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club. We'll see you next week.